Hello students, today we are going to study chapter number 9 of science. The name of the chapter is The Living Organisms and Their Surroundings. This is the first part of the chapter and we are going to cover these topics in this chapter. The first topic is habitat, then types of habitat, then components of habitat and different terrestrial habitats. Let's start with the habitat. Habitat means a dwelling place. Dwelling place means a home. The surroundings in which a particular organism, whether it's a plant, animal or other organism, lives is called its habitat. Let's understand. First of all, we talk about ourselves, means human being. Where do we live? We live on land. We are not living in water like fishes. So land is our habitat. In fact, many people lives in desert areas like Rajasthan. Many people lives in plain areas like Delhi, Punjab, UP. Many people lives in coastal areas like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and many people also lives in hilly areas like Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. Or you can say that humans are able to adapt to different habitats. You must seen that we found human being in variety of habitats. In deserts also, in plain areas also, coastal areas, hilly regions. Means human beings can survive in different habitats or surroundings. But there are many organisms which can survive only in particular habitat or surrounding. For example, camels. Where you can see camels? Yes, we can see camels in the desert. So desert areas are the habitat of camels. You cannot find camels in hilly or mountain areas. Similarly, coconut trees. They are found in coastal areas or seashores. So, coastal areas are the habitat of coconut trees. Similarly, if we talk about fishes. So, water is the habitat of fishes. Because fishes lives in water. And fishes cannot live or survive on land. So water is the habitat of fishes. Similarly, majority of plants grow in soil or land, but there are few plants which grows in water. For example, lotus and water lily. These are also called aquatic plants. So water is habitat of these plants. Then polar bears or penguins. Polar bears or penguins you can see in the polar regions only. So polar regions are the habitat of these animals, penguins and polar bears. They cannot found in desert or plain areas, right? So these are the organisms which can survive in particular areas only. But sometimes some living organisms are found almost everywhere. Or we can say that these organisms are survive everywhere. For example, ant. You can see ants everywhere in the home, outside the home, in desert, in coastal areas, in plain areas. So we can say that ants are present everywhere. So the organisms depend for their food, water, air, light, shelter and other needs on their habitat. It means that the organisms which live in the place, they are dependent on their habitat for their needs, for their necessities. Like we human lives on land, so we get our necessities, our needs from land only, like food, water, air, light, shelter and other things. Okay. Similarly, fishes lives in water and they get their necessities from the water only. Okay. A habitat provides everything to organisms which they need for their survival. Different types of plants and animals live in different habitats. Also, several kinds of plants and animals may share the same habitat. So, we already discussed about that different types of animals and plants live in different habitats. But several kinds of plants and animals may share the same habitat. For example, lotus, water lilies. These are the plants which grows in water. Similarly, fishes, ducks, frogs, they also lives in water. So, this habitat is the habitat for plants and animals both. Means water lily, lotus are also lives in water, grows in water, and fishes also lives in water. So this is the habitat for lotus and water lily also, and fishes, duck and frogs also. So that means different plants and animals may share the same habitat, or we can say it pond habitat. Okay. So we can say that these are aquatic animals and plants also. Now let's move forward to components of habitat. Habitat includes both living and non-living things around an organism. That you know that air, water, soil, rocks, sunlight, temperature, all these things are the necessity for living. You very well know about the living and non-living things. So living things needs all these things. We can study in detail afterwards. And non-living things also you can know that they did not need air, water, but non-living things are also around and organisms. Okay. Now next is types of habitat. There are two main types of habitat. The one is terrestrial land and the other is aquatic or water. Okay. One type is terrestrial habitat, or we can say land habitat, and other is aquatic habitat, or we can say water habitat. So first let's study about the terrestrial land. The habitats of plants and animals that live on land are called as terrestrial habitats. Terrestrial habitat means the plants and animals that live on land. For example, forest, grasslands, deserts, coastal and mountain regions. Whereas aquatic habitat means the habitats of plants and animals that live in water are called aquatic habitats. Means the plants and animals which lives in water, as we already discussed that, like lotus and water lily, and similarly fishes, all are living in water. Plants grows in water and animals lives in water. So they are called aquatic habitats. For example, ponds, swamps, lakes, rivers and oceans. Now let's move forward. Now what is adaptation? The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable a plant or an animal to live in its surroundings is called adaptation. Now students, adaptation means the presence of specific features or certain habits एडेप्टेशन क्या होता है कि जब हम जिस सराउंडिंग में रहते हैं वहाँ के जो फीचर्स हैं, स्पेसिफिक फीचर्स और कुछ हैबिट्स जो हम अपने अंदर उनको इनेबल कर लेते हैं और उस सराउंडिंग के बिना हम लोग रह नहीं पाते. दैट इज कॉल्ड एडेप्टेशन. ओके. Adaptations are very slow changes that take place over thousands of years in the bodies of organisms. Now, adaptation is not a fast process or fast change. It is a very slow change and it takes thousands of years in the body of organism to change something. For example, camels can survive in hot and dry climate of desert because changes have taken place in their body over a long period of time which enables them to survive in deserts with little water availability. For example, we can take camels. You know na very well that camels can survive in hot and dry climate. Hot and dry climate is the climate of desert, and in availability of very less water is there, so that also camels survive there. You know that a camel can store water in their body, है ना? So they can use that water for a long time. And these changes have not taken place in very less period or some of the years. It took very long period that camels adapt the climate or their conditions so that they can survive in desert. Okay. All organisms need to adapt to their habitat to be able to survive. Those animals which cannot adapt to these changes die out and only the adapted ones survive. So it is necessary that where we live, we have to adapt the habitat of that place so that we can survive there. Otherwise, what happens if any organism cannot adapt the changes, then it will die. Only the organisms survive when they adapt their habitats. Okay. Now let's move forward to acclimatization. What is acclimatization? If you live in the plains and suddenly go to high mountain regions, you may experience difficulty in breathing and doing physical exercise for some days. We need to breathe faster when we are on high mountains. After some days, your body adjusts to the changed conditions on the high mountain. Now students, adaptation and acclimatization, both are the different things. For example, if you live in the plain area and suddenly you planned a trip to the hilly station, so you need some time to adjust their climate, the climate conditions of the place, because in hilly areas we need to breathe faster for what? For to get sufficient oxygen, because we know when we move up, oxygen level gets down. So high mountains have low level of oxygen in air, so for that we have to breathe faster. But after some days, after staying some days over there, our body gets adjust to the changed conditions on that place, so we can survive easily. But in adaptation, I told you that it takes thousands of years, not a small period of time. It takes very long period of time to adapt the changes. Okay. Next, small changes that take place in the body of a single organism over short periods to overcome small problems due to changes in the surroundings are called acclimatization. These changes are different from the adaptations that take place over thousands of years. So student, As I already discussed, I'll repeat in Hindi also. Adaptation और acclimatization दोनों में डिफरेंस है. डिफरेंस क्या है? एक्लिमेटाइजेशन क्या होता है कि बॉडी में चेंजेस आना, वो भी शॉर्ट पीरियड में आना, वो एक्लिमेटाइजेशन है. लेकिन जो बॉडी में चेंजेस बहुत लॉन्ग पीरियड के बाद आते हैं, वो एडेप्टेशन है. मीन्स आप वहाँ की सराउंडिंग को अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं. एक्लिमेटाइजेशन क्या है कि आप की बॉडी ने वहाँ की कंडीशन को अडॉप्ट किया है, बट ओवर शॉर्ट पीरियड. आपको कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं, बट वो शॉर्ट पीरियड के लिए, देन यू कैन survive there. Okay, now I hope you all have understood the difference between adaptation and acclimatization. Okay, so let's move forward. Different terrestrial habitats. Now I already told you that about the land habitats. So now we are going to study in detail about different terrestrial habitats. Desert, grasslands, mountain regions and polar areas are the different types of terrestrial habitats. So first we will study about the desert. As I already discussed that desert are hot and dry climate and have less rainfall. So here, you know, the camels, snakes, lizard, rats are the animals which have adapted these climatic conditions and survive in the desert. As you all know that in desert areas, the days are very hot and nights are cold, because sand becomes hot during the daytime and becomes cool during the night time. Okay, so camels, rats, lizard and snakes, these are the animals which survive in desert areas, and they adapt the climatic conditions of desert. Similarly, cactus are the main plants which we found in desert. Cactus have spines near instead of leaves, so that the water loss is less and they grow easily in that areas. Okay, so now adaptations in desert animals. So let's study about animals first. Camel. Camel's long legs helps to keep their bodies away from the heat of the hot sand in desert. Now these are the characteristics of camel, that how camels can survive in desert areas. Camels have long legs, and these long legs of camels helps them to keep their bodies away from the heat of hot sand in desert. Camels' feet are wide, which prevents them from sinking in the sand. So if you can see, camels' feet are wide, and these feet prevents them from sinking in the sand. Means कैमल के फीट अगर आपने देखे हो ना, तो बहुत ब्रॉड होते हैं, वाइड होते हैं, और वाइड होने के साथ क्या होता है कि वो सैंड के अंदर धंसते नहीं हैं. सिंकिंग मीन्स धंसते नहीं हैं, और वो उनको हेल्प करते हैं डेजर्ट में मूव करने के लिए. ओके, दिस फीट हेल्प्स देम टू मूव इन द डेजर्ट. A camel can drink large amount of water at a time and store it in their body. The camel can survive for 20 days without drinking water and can drink more than 100 liters of water at a time if the camel is thirsty. Now, you also know that camel can drink large amount of water at one time because they store water in their body. And you know that camel can survive for 20 days without drinking water. How much water you all can drink in a day when you are thirsty? If you are thirsty, you can drink one or more, maximum 2 glasses of water at a time. But and the whole day you can drink 8 to 10 liters, I think, water. Okay, but a camel can drink more than 100 liters of water at one time only when the camel is thirsty. And this water they stores in their body, and when they can't get water, they use this stored water from the body. They excrete small amount of urine. Their dung is dry and they do not sweat. Camels excrete very small amount of urine and they do not sweat, so water loss is less from their body. Since camels lose very little water from their bodies, they can live for many days without water. Because of these things, they do not sweat or they excrete very small amount of urine. Their body stored water. So this is the reason why they can live so many days without water. Hump present on camel's back stores fat. It helps it to survive long periods without food and water. Now, have you seen hump on camel's back? The fat camel's hump stores fat, so that it helps when the camel cannot get food and water for 2-3 days. So that fat gives energy to camel to work properly. So this is the function of the hump, that it can store fat in the camel's body. Okay. Camel's long eyelashes to protect its eyes from sand. Now camels have long eyelashes and it protects eyes from sand. Now next is desert rats and snakes. Desert rats and snakes stays in deep burrows in the sand to stay away from the intense heat during the day. Now, you know that during the daytime deserts are very hot, and at that time snakes and rats are staying in deep burrows in the sand. Means they make holes in the sand, very deep holes to stay. These animals come out only during the night when it is cooler, and in the night time they come out and search their food. Body color of many desert snakes resemble the color of desert sand, hence they are less visible to their predators. Now, body color of many desert snakes means the color of the snake in desert is almost the same as sand. So predators cannot attack them easily. Predators means, you know what is the meaning of predators? Predators means enemies. Okay. You can see in the picture the color of the desert rat and snake. It is almost same as the sand. है ना? Now, adaptations in desert plants. In desert plants, leaves are either absent, very small, or they are present in the shape of spines. As I told you that in desert plants, leaves are either absent, means instead of leaves they have spines, or in some plants if there are leaves they are very small, and this helps in reducing loss of water from the leaves through transpiration. Now you know that if the leaves are large, the loss of water becomes increase. through a, because the transpiration system, through stomata the water evaporates, है ना. So this absence of leaves or very small leaves helps them reducing loss of water. Photosynthesis in these plants is usually carried out by the stems. Stem is succulent and spongy, which help in storage of water. Now you think that if leaves are not there, how the photosynthesis takes place? So in deserts, photosynthesis takes place by the stems, and the stems are succulent and spongy, means soft. The stem is also covered with a thick waxy layer which prevents loss of water from plant. Now the stems are soft and they are stems are covered with waxy layer, means stems are soft and have waxy layer, so this prevents loss of water from plant. Most desert plants have roots that go very deep into the soil for absorbing water. Now you know that roots also absorb water and minerals from the soil. So here in desert plants, roots go very deep into the soil so that they absorb water and they can grow. Now we can you can see here two pictures are given. One is regular plant and one is cactus. Now let's do an activity at your home. If you have cactus at your home, if you cover leaves of a plant with polythene bag and the cactus with a polythene bag and keep it in sunlight for 2 to 3 hours, you can observe that the polythene bag of the plant, regular plant which we have on, which grows on in soil, you can see the droplets in the polythene because of the transpiration system. But if you observe, or you can the cactus plant, you can see very less droplets of water in that. If you have cactus at home, then please it's a request that do this activity and share your experience with me also. Okay. Now you can see here clearly the stem in the picture. It has a waxy layer and a very spongy stem, and photosynthesis takes place from here. And you can see clearly in this that instead of leaves it has spines, means cactus has spines instead of leaves, or we can say that modification of leaves. Spines are modification of leaves. Okay. Now I hope you understood about the adaptation in desert by animals and plants, how animals and plants lives in desert. Okay, let's move forward to mountain regions. Now you know that the climate is cold here, colder climate. Mountains have very colder climate. Sometimes snowfall is also there, and the climate is very cool here. You can see in the picture also that how snow houses are covered with snow because of the snowfall, and this makes the climate very cooler. In mountain regions, you found oak, pine and deodar trees very much. Means conical shape. They have conical shape. And we found yak, mountain goat, sheep, snow leopard. These are the animals which we found in mountain regions. Now let's study in detail about adaptations in mountain animals. Animals living in the mountain regions have thick skin or fur to protect them from cold. Now in mountain region, due to very cold, Animals have thick skin or thick fur to their body which protect them from cold. Yaks have long hair to keep them warm. If you have seen the yaks, they have long hairs and these hairs keep them warm. Snow leopard has thick fur on its body, including feet and toes. This protects its feet from the cold when it walks on the snow. Now, if you have seen the snow leopard, it has thick fur on its body, including feet and toes. Means feet and toes also have a thick fur, and this thick fur protects it from the cold when he walks on the snow. The mountain goat has long hair to keep body warm and strong hooves for running up the rocky slopes of the mountain. Now, mountain goat also have long hairs to keep their body warmer, and it also has strong hooves so that they can run on the rocky slopes of the mountain. Now, adaptations in mountain plants. These trees are normally cone shaped and have sloping branches. This helps the rainwater and snow to slide off easily. The leaves of some of these trees are needle-like to reduce water loss due to windy weather. Deciduous trees shed their leaves before winters to prevent loss of water and better survive winters. Winter's water freezes and is not available for plant roots. Now, in mountain regions, you can observe that they have cone-shaped leaves or sloping branches because it helps rainwater and snow to slide off easily. Means when snow falls on these regions, so due to this conical shape, instantly they slide off from the leaves or from the branches. Okay. And some of the trees have needle-like leaves because needle-like leaves reduce water loss due to windy weather there. And we almost there for deciduous, we found deciduous trees in these areas. Deciduous trees means the trees which shed their leaves before winters. They are called deciduous trees. Okay. And why they are doing so? To prevent loss of water and better survive winters. To survive in winters, they shed their leaves before winters. Now, let's move forward to grasslands. Grasslands are characterized as lands dominated by grasses rather than large shrubs or trees. Means in grasslands, instead of trees or shrubs, we found grasses, long grasses. Now, adaptation in grassland animals. So, first lion. Lion's light brown color helps it to hide in dry grasslands when it hunts for prey. The eyes in front of the face allow it to have a correct idea about the location of its prey. Now, have you seen lion? You must seen lion. All of you have seen lion, I know. So, lion is, what is the color of lion? Lions have the light brown color. And this light brown color helps them to hide in dry grasslands. In grasslands, instead of trees and shrubs, it has long grass. So, animals can easily hide themselves in these grasslands due to their color. And lions have eyes in front of the face. And these eyes helps them to have correct idea about the location of its prey from the long distance also. Lions have long and sharp claws in their front legs to catch its prey. Now, you must have seen lion. All of you must seen lion. So, you must observe the long and sharp claws of lions in their front legs because They catch its prey with the help of these long and sharp claws. Lion is a strong and fast animal that can hunt and kill animals. This thing you all know, I know, that lion is a strong and also a fast animal. So that lion is the king of the jungle, na? Hai na? Next is deer. A deer has strong teeth for chewing hard plant stems of the forest. Now, in forest, plant stems are hard. So, deer has very strong teeth. So, they can chew these hard stems also. A deer has long ears to hear movements of predators. You must have seen deers also, and you know that deers have very long ears. Now, what is the function of these long ears of deers? So, with the help of these long ears, deers can hear movements of predators. I told you, na, predators means enemy. So, they can hear the movements of predators clearly with the help of these long ears. The eyes on the side of its head allow it to look in all directions for danger. Now, deers have eyes on the side of its head. You can see in the picture also the eyes are in the side, and this helps them to look in all directions, so they can save themselves from danger. The speed of the deer helps them to run away from the predators. Now, deers are also very fast runner, and this speed helps them to run away from the predator. Means this speed helps them to save from predators. Brown color helps to hide in dry grasslands. Same, deers also have brown color like lions. So this color helps them to hide in dry grasslands. Okay. So now move forward to polar areas. Now polar areas, as you know, are very cooler areas, very cold regions. Polar means very, very, very cold regions. Okay. So let's know about adaptations in polar animals. As I already told you that we found penguins and polar bears in polar regions. So let's for polar bear. You know, polar bear have white fur on its body. The white fur is not easily visible in the snowy white background. Now, snow is also white and polar bear also have white fur. So, it is not easy to found them. So, they are safe due to this color. It has a very strong sense of smell. Polar bear has very strong sense of smell in them. It helps the bear to locate and catch its prey. Now this strong sense of smell helps them to catch its prey. Means they know that where is the prey and how they have to catch it. It has long, curved and sharp claws. Now, bear have long and sharp claws, long, curved and sharp claws. These help it to walk on ice. These curved claws help them to walk on ice. It has a layer of fat under its skin. Now they have white fur, and below the white fur they have a layer of fat which helps them to keep them warm. The fat insulates its body from cold and keeps it warm. These keep it warm in cold weather. We all know that these regions are very much colder. So this white fur and this layer of fat under the skin keeps them warm in these cool regions. It has two thick layers of fur. Polar bears have two thick layers of fur which helps them to keep warm. Its predator and prey are unable to see it. Now, because they have white fur like snow, so predators also have difficult to locate them. Okay, so this color save them from predators. Now penguins, white and black colors merges well with the white background. Now penguins, you can know that they have white and black colors. They are white and black colors. White color merges well with the white background. Okay. Now they have also thick skin. It also has a thick skin and a lot of fat to protect it from cold. Like polar bears, penguins also have a thick skin and lot of fats under the skin which protect them from cold. Then huddle. Also penguins huddle together. This they do to keep warm. Huddle means साथ में रहना. Okay, so penguins always walk in huddles or stay in huddles because this keep them warm. So I hope you understood all about the adaptations in the terrestrial, or we can say the land habitats. Okay, we will move. I'll conclude here. We will meet soon again in the next part of this chapter. Till then, take care. Bye bye.